Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of our community conversation series on Instagram Live. My name is Krista. I'm part of the youth programs at NAMI San Fernando. Today, before we get started, I want to go ahead and just say that on October 3rd, we're having another mental health first aid. It's going to be from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. And all you have to do is sign up in the link in our link tree in the bio, and you'll be good to go. So it'd be really cool. Another option is to check out some of our most recent posts. And then you can contact our youth programs director, Yasmin, and she'll help you out as well. So if you're interested, I would definitely recommend checking that out. Let's see. So, hey everyone. Hey, Yasmin, how are you? All right. So today's guest he's from Tenna Foundation, and I have the pleasure of saying I get to work for both NAMI San Fernando and Tenna Foundation. So today's episode is definitely something I'm really excited for. So without further ado, let's go ahead and bring on Abdu. I'm gonna go ahead and just request you on. Let's see. Oh, let me try again. Let's see. Not sure if you. Oh, okay. I see what happened. All right. Sorry, guys. 1 second. Um, there we go. Hey,
Hey,
Abdu.
hi, Krista. How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you. Thank you for allowing me to be a part of your interview with Nami.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, thanks. We're excited to have you on here today. Um, so for those of the in the audience who don't quite know you yet, can you go ahead and just introduce yourself? Who you are, where you're from, what Tenna Foundation is, all that stuff.
How's it going, everyone? My name is Abdu Mahmoud. I'm the co-founder and creative director of Tenna Foundation. Tenna Foundation is an nonprofit with the initiative to give back to the underserved community via providing resources and educating the public on how to empathize and also.
Oh, uh-oh. I think we're having some technical difficulties. Let's see. Hey everyone. Hey Sana. Sorry guys, 1 second.
uh,
There we
I
go.
don't know what happened there, but
No.
um, what I was stating was Tenna Foundation is a nonprofit where we provide to the underserved community while also educating the community on how to empathize and also give back as well to our unhoused fellows as well.
Awesome. Yeah, it's definitely a really great organization. I love being part of it.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and just jump right in. Something that is very, prevalent in mental health, mental illness is like the people's identities and the way they connect with mental illness. So can you kind of share the way that your identity has impacted your approach to mental health and how you kind of, go about navigating mental health and mental illness?
So with mental health, I my approach is that as a black male, I grew up with the whole thought of showing emotion and showing talking about your mental state and whatnot was a sense of weakness.
Mhm.
So when growing up with that train of thought, it definitely impacted the decisions that I've been able to make, and it actually made things quite difficult for myself in terms of interaction with others,
Mhm.
interacting with not just with my family but also peers. Um, when going through this, I was able to get a lot of assistance with my family and with my friends as well, to where I was able to share what I was feeling, and I was able to talk to them about what was going on in my life, and as well, it just assisted with the whole journey on dealing with mental health and understanding with what's the idea of mental health, and providing more information on how to express myself in that sense.
Yeah. So would you say like as a male that's kind of normal, or would you say that was, the people that you had in your life was kind of an exception because you did have that space to kind of open up about mental health?
So as so I feel like for minority males, it's quite common that they feel like there's that I look at it as a much of a machismo mentality,
Mhm.
um, to where it's viewed as a sense of weakness to talk about how you feel, addressing um, your mental state. Um, but that's something that was brought upon in regards to, um, in my case, I guess you could say it was something that I was able to address it very quickly
Mhm.
regarding to seeing that it was difficult to move forward with um, my mental state if it wasn't addressed as quickly as possible. So with the idea of Black and Latino and minority males, I think we can definitely I definitely think that the conversation of the stigma of being able to address the being comfortable enough to be able to address it without any type of negativity coming back towards you in that sense.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, like, with that being said, how do you think we can go about, making this topic, especially in these minority families, just something more comfortable and more common to talk about?
We definitely need to be the definitely be need to be more active in regards to bringing up the topics. I look at it as most minority families they tend to be I guess you could say the first generation in their family to talk about these things if they
Mm,
wish to bring up those um, mental health issues that they feel like they might be having. So they just need to vocalize that they feel that type of way to their family and making them more comfortable for their family to be able to open up.
mhm,
The way I look at it is in my own family, I'm a son of two migrants who moved to the States, and they they oh,
sorry about that.
it's okay. So I'm the son of two migrants who moved to the States, and just the idea of talking to them about mental health, it has come up.
Mhm.
I have talked to them because I wanted to know what was their perspective of mental health.
Yeah,
And when talking to them, I was able to understand that growing up, they never had that. That was never undermined. Actually,
yeah,
that was never something that was brought up. That's something that um, is more talked about nowadays compared to it was in the past, especially people coming from many minorities and people from different cultures.
yeah,
And from when talking to them, I realized that the thought, the train of thought behind that was it's it's just the idea of, oh, it's just gonna pass.
yeah,
If you're feeling anxious, if you're feeling depressed, if you have a certain thought, it's instead of going and trying to seek help and talk to someone about that, it's just gonna pass. It's nothing. I know
yeah,
somebody who is going through things just as bad as you, and they're okay, stuff like that. So instead of being able
yeah,
to talk about these things and being able to address these things, it's just kind of brushed under the rug, which isn't really the right way of doing things in that sense.
yeah, absolutely.
Um, yeah, so I've been able to talk to them about that. I've been able to speak. I was very vocal with that actually, um, and they've been very supportive since doing so.
That's good.
Yeah, and I definitely feel like males in general. Since there is a bit of a stigma behind it in regards to talking about the way you feel to, yeah, family, friends, whoever it may be. Um, I do say that definitely need to push the initiative.
Yeah, definitely. So, I mean, you fortunately had a really good experience talking to your family about mental health, which is great. What advice would you give to people who, want to bring up that conversation but are kind of afraid of the way that their family is going to respond to them?
Um, the way I look at it is you definitely have to bring it up in a way where you need to be able to have the family members be able to relate to what you're bringing up.
Hmm.
In regards to one way that I look at it is the thought of people that may have gone through trauma. So
Hmm.
I'm looking at it, today's climate as an example. Um, talking about today's climate, there are some type of traumas that we are taking in as well right now,
Yeah.
and just talking about these things and being able to express these things towards your family and towards your friends as well, is um, um, a step forward in regards to addressing certain, let's say, feeling of anxiety or feeling of depression due to what's going on, whether it's because of COVID,
Yeah.
or with what's going on with the climate at the moment and um, whatnot. So just being able to talk about it and being able to address these things um, is a step forward. And you can definitely try to navigate the conversation towards talking about how what they feel about what's going on as well.
Mhm. Yeah, definitely. It seems like what you're saying is a lot of, the stigma surrounding mental health is very like intergenerational and it kind of gets passed down. So with that being said, it looks like this generation, working hard to break that stigma, which is so awesome.
Mhm.
Um, but I mean, of course, there's still so much work that must be done. What would you say are some things that, we have to unlearn regarding mental health stigmas?
Just the idea of, and this can go for everyone, just the idea of sharing your sharing what how you feel is
Mhm.
not is and sharing your weakness is not a sense of weakness as well.
Yeah.
It's you're not viewed as weak by doing so. I feel like that's one thing that a lot of people hold on to themselves, and it makes things very difficult for them to come out and be able to talk to someone about these things. Um, yeah, I definitely think that just the idea of not looking at it as um, a sense of weakness. Another
Mhm.
thing is just the stigma between men and being able to speak about the way they feel is just something that definitely needs to be changed, and it does seem to be changing with as we look at it.
Mhm.
We just definitely need to push it a little bit and be able to do that a little more.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So, as a male, um, how would you say like amongst your friends, your colleagues, or just anyone that you come across, like what are you doing in particular so other males can get kind of ideas? Like how do you create that safe space for other guys to be able to talk about mental health and mental illness?
One thing you definitely need to do is being able to be non-judgmental in any type of way,
Mm.
being able to have uh, being able to provide that safe space to where people can actually confide in you and be able to talk to you about that, about these
Yeah.
things, and not being not look at them in type of way where you may disagree with them or anything like that. It's just more of uh, allowing them to talk, allowing them to speak their mind and be there be there to listen to them in
Mhm.
that regards. Um, and that's definitely one step towards that, making sure that the environment is comfortable enough for them to speak.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that's
Um,
definitely one thing that I definitely do.
yeah, I mean, that's awesome. I think that's so important.
Mm.
So if you feel comfortable sharing, can you gotta like just give us an idea of like how has your mental health journey been? I mean, you don't have to share any sort of intimate details if you're not comfortable, but just kind of, how has your perspective on mental health changed and how is your, being able to be more vocal, open about it?
So I was very much in that same position where I looked at it as a weakness at one
Mhm.
point, and I definitely um, thank my strong support group, like my close friends, um, who I actually work with as well. Um, and they were able to give me that safe space to be able to address what I feel, address any type of if I was in anxious, when there's any type of anxiety that I may feel, or just being able to confide in them and be able to talk to them about anything that I may be feeling.
Mhm.
I know that they're there for me as well. So just knowing that there is a safe space to be able to talk. But yeah, I did go through a phase where I looked at it as a sense of weakness.
Yeah.
Just held it in all in,
Yeah.
and that doesn't really work. It just makes things very difficult.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and I definitely it took a while for me to realize that, but and definitely friends definitely tried to pull make sure that I was able to speak my mind, be able to share with them as well.
That's
And yeah, and that's definitely something that I was able to understand from. And that's how I'm trying to make sure that other people also understand and be able to, those who may relate, who have gone through the whole emotional journey and mental journey, and be able to speak about that.
mhm. Yeah, I mean, like it's definitely a process, you don't just wake up one day and feel fine about it. So I mean, I think
Yeah,
that's awesome that you're sharing this because it's, mental health can be very scary and complicated, but at the same time it doesn't have to because it's like it's something you can just talk about.
exactly. We definitely need to make it very comfortable for anyone to be able to talk about it. It's just making sure that there's a safe space for that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I've also noticed, and also with men too, you there's this like avoidance of mental health, like what we've been saying, what you've been saying.
Hmm.
So, what is your idea or like thought process on, confronting mental health before it's an actual issue? Like just being able to share and talk about feelings before it turns into, full-blown depression, full-blown anxiety, like a full-blown crisis.
Hmm. One thing that we definitely need to do is educate.
Hmm.
A lot of people are very uninformed in regards to mental health because it's it's not something that's brought up much in our own family.
Yeah.
Um, I'm looking at it as more of um, it's not really talked about within. It's very different between genders, I guess you could say,
Hmm.
to where maybe men don't talk about it as often, or it's never even talked about actually. So just being able to talk about it more, and being able to acknowledge that it is a real thing, is one step forward. That's definitely something that is missing from as one of the that's actually one of the issues that may be uh, is leading to the stigma in that regards, to where men don't really talk about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then before we continue, I just want to tell the audience if you have any questions, feel free to ask them in the comment section, and then we'll take a few minutes at the end to go ahead and answer them. So, okay, moving on from that, or kind of like, going off of that. what are some of the biggest like influences or factors or things that contribute to the stigma of mental health, especially in men? That's like this is why we can't talk about it. I know there's like the whole machismo, manly kind of thing. But is there
Mhm.
anything else that you've noticed kind of that contributes towards it?
Um, I mean, it all goes down to there's media influence. That's one thing,
Yeah.
which doesn't really support the cause itself. Um, I mean, I think if people in the media are push, I guess you could say, um, more males who are able to talk about their mental state and whatnot, which I'm seeing more of now.
Hmm.
It will push others to be able to address these issues and be comfortable enough to talk about these things, where they see their role models actually doing that, and they would be able to do it as well because their role models are doing it as well. So the media is definitely something that works with or against the cause, and definitely just the idea of um, just opening up the conversation, starting up the conversation, and being able to talk about these things
Hmm.
within um, within the Black community, the Latino community, and also all minorities in general. Just the conversation of having um, the openness to be able to talk about the way you feel, being able to talk about your mental state and whatnot is something that needs to be built upon, and being able and made more comfortable in that sense, to where you would allow others to be able to do so as well.
Hmm. Yeah, that's super important. Um, okay, so kind of shifting gears here, let's talk a little bit about Tenant Foundation. Um, how has Tenant Foundation and the work that you've done and the work that has been going on recently changed your perspective on mental health and like how has it impacted the way that you approach mental health in others?
Um, with Tenna Foundation, I was able to get a certain perspective to where when we go out um, in the streets trying to assist others
Hmm.
via providing resources and whatnot, we have come across a lot of people to where we actually have conversed with them, with the underserved community. We have realized that many obviously there is a whole stigma of the homeless community um, being drug addicts or drunks or whatnot. There is that stigma behind it, which is not true. A lot of these times it's a mental there's a whole stigma behind that, and from what we've seen is a lot of people actually have mental illnesses that need to be addressed.
Yeah.
um, One thing is that they never got the help.
Hmm.
One thing is that they never got the help, and that's something that we've realized, whether it's depression, anxiety, or oh, you can go down the list. It can definitely just spiral down if it's not taken care of and be able to be addressed um, in the early stages. Um, but definitely, I was able to empathize and understand where they were coming from, due
Yeah.
to the fact that I was able to gain this knowledge uh, um, over time, and just knowing what's going on and trying to understand their point of view.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, that made me realize that mental health is a very, very important aspect of health, and that was definitely something that I was able to understand a little bit more in regards to that may be a much larger aspect than we think.
Hmm. Yeah, definitely. I mean, like
Yeah.
the mission of TENA is to eradicate health disparities, and a lot of times you think health disparities, oh, physical health, but The more
Exactly.
done, it's like, oh, mental health is definitely a huge health disparity that is
Exactly.
also. Okay, let's
Hmm.
see. We do have questions. Let's take a look. Let's see. How do we encourage more males to sign up for mental health classes?
Um, I think um, I think it needs to be more like, mm, I don't know. I look at it more as making it just a conversation to where they are able to express themselves with no judgment.
Mhm.
I'm sure that's already done in many places as well. But just being able to educate them that it's okay to open up. I think that's one thing that kind of prevents people from trying to attend more mental health classes is because they look at it as I'm oh, I have nothing going on with me. It's just something that's just gonna pass through.
Yeah.
Um, I think that's something that it's more of a self-realization to where people can actually understand that there is something that I need to work on,
Mhm.
and they need to be able to address it. So, oh, majority of our
Yeah. Majority
classes.
of be really nice for males, definitely.
Um, I mean, definitely making sure that men actually understand the statistics um, behind, let's say, depression in males, if
Mhm.
it's or just being able to educate males in general, then there would be more of a realization in terms of, okay, I need to take care of myself.
Yeah.
Um, I have been able to see a little bit more emphasis in male mental health as of late. I know many sports teams and um, um, different, I guess you could say, role models have come out stating that how the importance of mental health. So
Yeah.
that's something that has been able to support. Um, but I definitely think that just the idea of making it an open space, as NAMI does, um, should be able to bring in more people as well in terms of males being
Yeah.
able just making sure that it's comfortable enough for them to be able to come out and talk about it without feeling that that thought of weakness in that regards.
Yeah. Definitely. Let's see. We have a couple more
Mhm.
questions. How do you help a male friend going through depression?
Um, so helping I look at it as helping a friend in general. Helping a friend in general who's going through depression, you just need to be um, just allow them to talk. As long as they're able to know that you are there, um, you are on their side, you are able to assist them if there's anything. Um, just that trust that you're there is something that definitely helps a lot. Um, I think that just making sure that they feel comfortable enough for them to actually to talk about their inner feelings is definitely something. Not really push them to talk about the way they feel, but just gradually let it come.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely something that I would say. Yeah, that yeah, I think just the I think that's just something that you kind of have to do with everyone as well. It's not just meals.
Yeah. Just like a lot of emphasis on that safe space for someone to
Safe space, yes.
bring out their emotions and
Yeah.
what they're like that.
Hmm.
Let's see. And then I think we have one more question. What inspires you to advocate for mental health in our community, and what keeps you motivated on your mental health journey?
So it's not necessarily just because, so I personally haven't really seen too much mental health talks my community, which is the Eritrean Muslim community.
Mhm.
And in the Muslim community, there are some who have advocated to make sure that minorities from the Muslim community are able to speak about their mental state without that stigma behind it.
Mhm.
Um, and for one thing is that just being able to make sure that there is that safe space to be able to talk about it and being able to educate others about it because our the previous generations haven't really gotten haven't really gotten that information that nobody has really brought up the fact that there is the importance of mental health. So we definitely have to teach them. They are kind of set in stone with what they believe, but we definitely still have to educate them about um, on how to uh, take care of their mental health because that will also trickle down towards their families as well.
Yeah, definitely. I think
Yeah,
that education is just the most important thing to destigmatize mental health.
yeah,
Um, yeah, I mean, we have Usman saying the stigma is real, especially amongst males, and we must do all we can to help destigmatize mental health needs in our community.
yeah,
Definitely. Um,
100%.
yeah, any, final thoughts or quotes that you want to share?
Um, One thing that I definitely think is that I definitely believe that there is a lot of work to be done,
Mhm.
especially for men and men of color to be able to speak about their mental. Uh, what's a good approach? Uh,
So what's
but
a
we
good
definitely
is
a good approach to educate others.
yeah.
Um, Related, being able to have someone relate to you. That's one way to do it. If someone's able to relate to you, you can definitely pass on any type of knowledge to them. In regards to if some if both are coming from the same background in terms of culture, if they are able to whether they share similar backgrounds, hobbies, whatever it is, if they're able to relate to you, they will more likely listen to what you have to say in regards to maintaining a healthy mental state.
Mhm.
Um, um, whether whether they go to the same school, whether they work together, they have a similar understanding of what each one tends to go through. Obviously, in that zone.
Yeah.
Um, so there is a lot of power in being able to have someone relate to you, to be able to educate them about opening up about their mental state. So it's just relatability in that sense.
Yeah, definitely. And I
Yeah.
think that circles back to the whole emphasis on sharing your story because then that way, you may not expect you relate to someone and then it turns out you do,
Hmm.
and then now you have this newfound connection and it works out really well.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. So okay, yeah, any other, final parting words for the audience?
um, I mean, one thing that I definitely say is that there is a lot of work
Yeah.
to be done, especially for males to come out and being able to be more comfortable. So I definitely think that we can definitely get there,
Yeah.
and it's just a matter of just being active and making sure that we can educate as many people as we can and reduce the gap in between between the whole idea of males not being able to address and speak about their emotions and whatnot.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, I agree. There's so much work to be done, but I feel like we're going in the right direction, which is very helpful.
Yeah, most
Yeah.
definitely.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. It was so awesome having you here. I love getting to combine both of my passions, so this was really cool. Um,
Thank you for having me. Thank
yeah,
you. And we definitely appreciate NAMI for allowing me to be a part of this and being a major supporter as well.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so
Yeah,
much. All right. Thanks everyone for joining. See you guys soon. All
thank
right.
you.
Bye.